Eugene, you've settled in at home now, but pretty busy on the international front last week on Friday. First with Jenna Fabian. What was your thoughts on the outcome of that fight?
Yeah, no, combination of a lot of hard work from Jenna and the team. She came from a lot of adversity in her life, moving back from America, re-establishing herself in New Zealand, trying to fit in with the team again, trying to get used to the coaches. We managed to get her a boxing fight, Muay Thai fight, but not an MMA fight. So she had to go in fresh off her last PFL fight, which was quite a long time ago. And she made it through all of that, and she came out victorious. And I thought it was a well-disciplined, excellent, technically excellent fight.
I guess you've been in touch with Selby Devereaux, who's in charge over there. She come through the fight all right?
Yeah, she's pretty much uninjured, and the thing about the PFL is you're 7 to 8 weeks apart, so you're literally finishing your fight, having a Sunday off, and going straight back into training camp again. So yeah, I've talked to Selby, and we've kind of exchanged our thoughts on what needs to happen for the next camp. Selby's going to be over there for the next few weeks for the start of basically the next camp, because Jenna's not coming home. With the quarantine situation in New Zealand and coming home for 2 weeks and then having to go to the fight for 2 weeks, she would barely be home for 4 to 5 weeks and have to leave again. There's no point in coming back. So yeah, we have a pretty good plan on what areas she needs to cover in between now and the next fight. We don't have an opponent yet, but an opponent will come through soon, and then we'll be able to get a lot more specific. But yeah, everything's going well over there so far.
Later on Friday night, there was, of course, Melbourne and Kevin Jousset in action, and he really had to dig deep in that one.
Yeah. I mean, the Frenchman's been over here a long time, and he managed to secure himself a visa. So when COVID hit and stuff, he was able to stay in the country, and he chose to stay in the country. He obviously has family and friends back in France that he also contemplated going back and seeing, but he made the sacrifices to stay in New Zealand. And in his last couple of fights, especially that last one, he's been able to make those sacrifices worthwhile. So, in my opinion, he's improved dramatically in all the different areas of his game, and now he just has to keep getting better by fighting, because he's had it up to here with training. Now he needs to fight more, and which he will be fighting a lot more now, especially with the Australasian bubble open now.
Is there anything on the cards for him?
Yeah, we're trying to get him another fight in Eternal in July, so hopefully he'll be back over there fighting another top welterweight. I mean, he's ready to fight. Yeah, all the top guys in Australasia.
Just an update on the UFC boys. Of course, Israel and Brad are in full camp.
Yeah, I'm enjoying training at the moment. Yeah, I mean, Israel naturally he has that little of extra bit of energy that most fighters do after a loss. So just a little bit of extra spark, a little bit of extra enthusiasm. That willingness to get in there again and after a loss is always something that can be used in a positive way if you can harness it. So we're just doing that. And then Brad has a similar type energy, and although Brad didn't lose, he didn't get to compete. So Brad, he's kind of jumping out of his skin. He kind of have to slow him down a little bit and just ease him into it. because he's just a bull. He just wants to go, and he's been training for a long time now. If you count these 2 training camps together, quite closely back to back. So just holding him back.
Of course, Dan, Kai, and Carlos and Shane are all in holding pattern, I guess.
Yeah, Dan. We tried to get him on this card coming up, but there just was no one available to fight. He would have had to fight someone ranked way below him, and I'm not sure if we're too willing to do that after we've spent years getting to the position we're in. So, just let a few fights play out, and then there'll be a few names back on the board, and then we'll see where the chips lie for Dan. Shane, we're going to do a bit after 2 fights in close succession. We're going to do a little bit of work on. He just needs to, put his head down and his bum up in the gym, and we've identified some areas that he needs to work on. Likewise with Carlos, and the same as Kai. Those guys are going to be looking around August, September, so a little bit later on, but I feel they need the time to work on specific areas that we've kind of identified for them to improve on. So yeah, those guys will get off the rank soon.
And you haven't only been busy with the fight scene, you've been also helping out and run a seminar down the line somewhere. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Me, Israel, Brad and Kai ran a seminar, a fundraising seminar to help out our friend Chojo and his gym out, raise a bit of money. Jim was in a little bit of a situation where they needed a bit of money, so we stepped in and ran a seminar, and it was interesting. I've never really run a seminar of that nature before. We've been pretty guarded about our intellectual property, I guess you could say. But it was really interesting. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the enthusiasm of all the people. We had just over 100 people pay their hard-earned money to come and learn a little bit about MMA, and it was a humbling experience to see all these people there that were willing to come and learn from us a little bit of knowledge of the sport, and there are people there from all levels. But I think, like I said, the humbling experience was just seeing all those people there for our seminar, because and my memory goes back far enough where if I could ever have run a seminar like that, like 6 or 7 years ago, there'd be like 2 people there or 3 people there, and the sport was in a different place. So to see that was very pleasing for me, and thank you to all those people that came, and Legacy Fitness, who hosted the gym, Tojo, thank you very much, and Paul also, who helped down there. Yeah, a myriad of people to thank. If I've left you out, apologies, but yeah, thank you to the people in Napier that came and supported the seminar. It was a great experience for us.
Well, I know on behalf of Tojo Dixon, who has been a stalwart of the fight game for years and years and years in New Zealand, and is well known around the country. This is what I would try and get over to the people who are watching this. You and the boys are always there. You always seem to be there to help people that have helped you in the past. Does that just happen in New Zealand, or does that happen all around the world?
I can't speak of all around the world, but and I've spoken this before, but New Zealand has a very special community, not like any other in the world, and I've learned to appreciate that more because I go overseas and I see how everything operates overseas, and I just love coming home and getting amongst the local combat community It's one of the best communities I've ever been a part of, and it's very special. If you could get overseas more to some of the environments that I'm on, where you can quite often, you know, cut the air with a knife, it's a lot different, and the communities are a lot different. Our one is very special and something to be very protective of. So, you know, Tojo Dixon is a legend in our sport. You know, one of the pioneers. And he's, you know, when I see him, he's the encyclopedia of the New Zealand fight sports, particularly Thai boxing and boxing. Whenever I need to know a fighter's name or a fighter's record or something about a fighter or something about a gym and their history, you just ask Tojo, and you ask him a simple question about something historic, and then you're going to get a half-hour answer, but a very interesting answer, because he's that knowledgeable and he's been around the sport that long. So the opportunity to help him out, we jumped at, and it was a pleasure.
Oh, fantastic, yeah. He's certainly one of the most informative guys I've ever spoken to, and I feel pretty much like you, pretty happy that we're part of his world.
No, absolutely. It was great.
Something I don't know if you want to comment about, but I got quite a lot of feedback from the last interview we did with about Robert Whittaker, and I don't usually read the comments, but there was a few that caught my eye.
Yeah, and I don't read the comments either, but the boys like to tease me a bit, and there were some good ones in there. But look, I'm just speaking my mind, speaking the truth. That's all I can do. And I'm only speaking from my perspective and from what I know. And I know that my team and my guys have been put in positions, and we know that there's certain opportunities you can't say no to. And we never have. And we've taken every single opportunity, and we've had adversity behind a lot of those decisions to take those fights. There's been massive adversity, and we've pushed through, and most of the time it's paid off. Sometimes it hasn't, but we understood the gravity of the opportunity that we were taking, and we also understood that the opportunities don't come around, and we weren't. Well, I mean, we're not nonchalant about it. We understand that we do a lot of hard work, and that there's repercussions to saying no to those opportunities. And I'm speaking from that experience. And in my experience, the repercussions to saying no to the type of opportunities the UFC offer you is exactly what I talked about. That opportunity is no longer available for you. That opportunity was given to someone else. It was given to Vettori. So yeah, now our sole focus is Vettori, and after that, you know, we'll look at the lay of the land and see where we need to go. And all I'm saying is that's not necessarily Robert, because Robert said no to the opportunity to fight Israel. So that, I mean, I can't be like, that's just what I'm saying. Okay. So you know what I was surprised about? I didn't know Robert had so many loyal fans. So yeah, good on him. You gotta love a loyal, one-eyed MMA fan. They're the best.
What happens if the UFC decide to put him forward to you? Does that mean that you would say, we'd rather take somebody else that we think is more deserving? No. Like, we have that opportunity to say that now. Like, before we didn't have that opportunity. Like, the fight was yours. We didn't have an opportunity, but now we have that opportunity because you gave it to us. You gave your fight to Vettori.
So now we have an opportunity to be like, who do we want to fight next? The number one contender don't want to fight. So like that's all I'm saying. Is like, you know, before it was pretty clear and concise. Like when Israel decides to defend his title next, you're next. That's you. You're the man. You earned that place, but you gave it to Vettori. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, but what does it matter? Like Robert, he's not like he's aware. He knows how this game works, and but that goes in line with how he is. You know, he's very like relaxed about everything and chilled and like, oh yeah, whatever. Yeah, but we brought a different type of energy to the title, right? Like, I mean, there was one stage where Robert had one fight a year. He was on one fight a year defending the title. Like we've a minimum of 2, but we'll do more. Some years we've offered to defend it 4 times, but there's just been no fights for us. Like the energy that we're bringing and what to that title and this prestige and the eyes that we're bringing is a little bit different to what Robert brought. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Hey, thanks as always for talking to us, Eugene, and yeah, we'll see if we get any comments on that one.
No worries, Tony.
Cool, mate.